All right. So, I'm going to wait for a second. All right. So, I just wanted to say you're never going to have enough resources. You're never going to, um, you're just not going to have everything that you want to do and have access to everything that makes sense, right? I'm kind of stumbling with my words, but I want to sort of say that there is this belief that you have your life all together, right? That the only way that you create something or you do something is you have your life all together. But in my experience, and I'm assuming it's in most people's experience, you never do. And that's what I'm hoping to show with this whole reciprocity project. I'm building something, right? So my life is that I am a professor and a dad. And my life, I spend almost all of my time doing the professor thing. And then I also spend all of my time doing dad thing. Right now, I'm actually dropping my kids off at something. And, that is my life. That's what it actually looks like. So how do I actually build something innovative? What does that look like? What do I do? How do I actually make it happen? And the truth is, you just make it happen. You do the little things that possibly can resonate at this moment or that you can do. I mean, frankly, it would be amazing. I would love it if I knew a bunch of Fortune 500 CEOs and I knew all of the, management professors and knew everything, or I had the unlimited financial resources. I knew venture capitalists and I, knew all of these people, or I knew like Bill Gates that would actually like beam down to me and talk to me, right? But that doesn't happen. The fact is that doesn't happen. So what do I do? What does that actually look like? How can I change my life? And the truth is I just make crap up as I go. And I think that's the only thing that we could do, right? That's the only resource that I have is me at this moment. And yes, I continue to, reinvest in the reciprocity platform and continue to work at it. And yes, nobody pays attention to it. I understand that, right? Like, I understand that there's one person that's actually following this. And I've spent and done this for like 5-6 years. I'm not, and it's probably my mom, by the way. Hi, Mom. I understand all of that stuff, but what do I do? What's my alternative? Well, my alternative is I actually don't do it because I don't have access to any of that stuff. I don't have access to venture capital. I don't have access to, a group of Fortune 500 CEOs. I don't have access to unlimited resources and venture capital. And I don't have access to any of those people. So the only option that I have is what I have in front of me. And that is filling in the gaps of doing the things that I'm doing at this moment. And doing that on as much as I humanly possibly can. Now, you can think of, so one way to think of, your life is to think of sort of, binary snippets of activity. You do one thing, then you do the next thing, and you do those things as well as you possibly can. In my experience, you don't know what as well as possible can is. It is a perceived quality. It's all made up. I have no idea what that actually looks like. And so I can sit and wait until it all comes together and do something when it all comes together. And the truth is, my life has never been all together, and it's not going to be. I will be far in the ground when that actually happens. So what do I do? What do I actually do? I can think about my life in more of an incremental, if you think of an integer or an integral, right? Where we're looking at the area under a curve, and that area under a curve could be really big, which is that sort of larger chunks of time and effort, or the area under the curve could be really tiny and filling these things in whenever you could do it. And the thing is that we know from calculus that area under the curve, if we do little incremental things, it actually adds up. And it actually turns into something, and it turns into something miraculous. And so I don't expect that any of this is going to come together. I'm going to do my little piddly things every once in a while, or as much as I possibly can, fill in my gaps, do all these kind of things to actually make it happen, because that's what I know. That's what actually works. I could sit and wait and have some, superhero come flying in and help me out, or, have unlimited resources, or just start it. And I just make sense of what I'm actually doing right now. And I realize that each individual step is like a little piddly, right? 2 people right now are actually watching this. That's amazing. And one of them, I guarantee, is probably my mom. right? And I'm totally happy and okay with that. I'm sitting in my car. It feels like my life is not together. It feels like everything is like falling apart and all that kind of stuff. But I get up and I do it. And that's the only option I have. And hopefully you all see that's the only option that I actually have. If I wanted to do something that was spectacular, I could wait, but I could wait, and that waiting's never going to happen. Right? So my alternative, given who I am and my circumstance, is to do little piddly things every single day until it actually happens. And I can spend all my time. I'm sort of fed up with this idea that you can wait until somebody gets here and find the right group. It makes a difference. I guarantee it does. Having the right resources, having unlimited financial capital and all that kind of stuff, that all makes a difference. And it's wonderful. But I don't have access to that. And so what do? I make it happen. I do it a little bit at a time. I make this thing happen. I turn it into something that is good, as best as I can. And if I do this for 30 years, then that is totally fine. That is my option. That's what I have. I can make this happen by doing this all the time and turning it into something, or I can sit and wait until my prince with a white horse shows up, which is never going to show up. So I'd encourage you to just make things happen. Go out, make it happen. It's going to feel stupid. Everything about this, I'm wasting my money. I feel all of these sort of negative emotions. I feel like, hey, what am I doing here? This is dumb. I'm sitting, all of those things are just excuses. The only thing that I know is to get up and do this every day, turn it into something. That's the only thing that I know that actually works. Someday it'll turn into something. Someday it will actually matter. But, that's the only way I know how to do it, is get up and do it every day, regardless of how it feels, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of all of the outcomes. But just get up and try one more day, turn it into something. And I'm going to do that for as long as I possibly can, and until this turns into something that is truly remarkable, something that I am proud of, which I am right now. I hope this is changing your mind and how you see the world, is that you can wait until somebody does something for you, which is not going to happen, or you could just do it yourself and make it up and go and try one more day and turn it into something freaking awesome.